All right, for the second part of this week, week 4, we are going to begin an introduction into what is called modular arithmetic. And honestly, this is one of my favorite topics when I did my undergrad math degree. I enjoyed this class a lot. Not everyone will probably agree with me. The easiest way for you to kind of grasp how modular arithmetic works, I think, is to consider a clock. We are very familiar with telling time, right? But we also only use numbers 1 through 12 to tell time. So because you have been taught from a very young age that that's how time works, I guess unless you're in the military, then you do use 24. But it's the same idea. You just use 24 military time instead of 12 not military time, right? But you naturally, right, if you were counting hours, right, you wanted to know what it's 6 o'clock, what time it is 7 hours from now. Well, if you just add 6 and 7, you get to 13, right? Well, there's no 13 on the clock, but you know, 12, then I go to 1, right? That is modular arithmetic. You are adding modulo 12 because once you get to 12, you reset and start over. So the first thing that you're going to see in your assignment this week is just practicing adding and subtracting. They're calling it clock arithmetic, right? But it's a brief introduction into how you could do a similar thing with any number, we call it a modulo, meaning that's the biggest number like that you can get to. So we'll get to that, but let's stick with clock arithmetic first. So you will see new symbols in your textbook. Again, you'll see a plus with the circle and a minus with the circle, right? That just means that we are adding and subtracting, but we are not adding and subtracting in the normal way that we do in base 10, right? We are going to add and subtract given a specific base, not necessarily a base, but we call it a modulo that we're working in. So for a clock, it's 12, right? Once you hit 12, you reset and start counting again. So you will practice, like I said, with the clock, and then your textbook is going to introduce new modulos, right? So now that you're comfortable, oh yeah, I know how to add with the clock, right? When you get to 13, you start back over with 1. If I add two numbers, like 7 plus 7, and I get 14, that's really, 2 o'clock, right? So that, because you once you hit 12, whatever number you get, you start recounting 12 again, okay? Then you're going to move into doing that same type of arithmetic, but under different modulars or different modulos. So what you're going to see is you're going to be given a number, and then it's going to say MOD, which represents mod, and then another number. So like for a clock, if I said, what is 13 mod 12, right, you would know, oh, well, that's 1 o'clock, okay? But then you can do that same thing, that same idea, with say mod 8, right? So if I add 8 plus 1 and I get 9, but I'm in modular 8, that means that I can't go beyond 8. I would circle back and make that a 1, okay? So modular arithmetic just kind of caps you out at a certain number and you have to start over. Subtraction is very similar, except kind of backwards, right? So with the clock, if you subtract time and you get back to 12, you have to count backwards, right, to 11. So your textbook are kind of going to walk you through the algorithms about how you can add and subtract in modular arithmetic, again, starting with clock, but then moving into other numbers. And then once you're comfortable with that, you're actually going to look at some basic equations. So think x plus 4 equal 2, right? You know how to solve that in our normal way that we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then our base 10 system and digits. But it's going to show you how to solve equations like that in different modulars. So if you were in clock arithmetic or if you were in arithmetic mod 7, you're going to look at how you can solve those equations. So hopefully you will find that pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions, let me know. We'll have our normal class time where you can ask questions, or you can ask questions to me online or by email.